First, Senator Bob Day this morning. Senator Day, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Lots of voters looking on at those raucous, those chaotic scenes in the Senate yesterday would have been distinctly unimpressed and may have decided, well, let's vote this rabble out and start afresh. Can you understand why that point of view would have formed yesterday?
Well, let's be clear about what's happening this week. The Liberals and Nick Xenophon have done a deal with the Greens to wipe out the minor parties and independents. And we feel we owe it to the 3 million voters who voted for minor parties and independents at the last election to fight back. OK,
but not much is getting done, though. That's the problem.
Well,
there seems to be lots of heat and no light in the Senate at the moment.
Well, these changes could profoundly change Australian politics forever. And we think it's incumbent on the minor parties and independents who at the last election did attract 3 million voters. We need to represent them.
OK, let's throw the government's argument at you. You, at the last election, Bob Day, got only 3.8% of the primary vote. That's 30% of a Senate quota, yet you still won a Senate seat. Why is that representative?
Well, that's because that's the way our system works. It's not just your first preference votes that counts. It's your second and third preference.
But excuse me for interrupting, and that's the point the government's making. These backroom deals, the harvesting of preferences, which voters don't know about. Shouldn't something be done about that?
Well, that's not true. Most people do know where they want to put their second and third preference and are very, very happy to delegate to their favourite minor party where their preferences go. And the preferences all add up. It's no different to the way we count sport, where you get so many points for a goal and so many points. And yes, I got nearly 4% primary votes, but I got nearly 14% in second and third and fourth preference votes, and they all add up.
OK, are you battling uphill on this front? You concede that the government and the Greens do have the numbers to force these changes through, making people like you extinct if there was a double dissolution election?
Well, that seems to be certainly their intention, and we believe that the Parliament needs independent senators who do not toe a particular party line. And look, I was elected on a platform of every family a job and a house, and I'd much rather be helping the unemployed get a job and young people get a house. But without representation, none of that can happen.
OK, your crossbench colleague Ricky Muir tried to bring on debate on the Australian Building and Construction Commission yesterday. The government did not want to go there at all. What do you make of that, given the government is actually behind setting up this watchdog?
Well, it's bizarre. The thousands of people who work in the building industry don't care about politics. They just want the corruption to stop. And there was an opportunity there yesterday for the ABCC, which is probably one of the most important reforms, the lawlessness, the corruption that we know exists in the building industry and construction industry. There's an opportunity, and any opportunity to address that needs to be looked at and needs to be worked on, and to put it off for the sake of politics to try to wipe out the minor parties and independents. Effectively, the ABCC is dead now. OK, now in the broader sense, there is speculation continuing about an early election and also an early budget. Have you, Senator Day, been approached by any figures in the government, Christopher Pyne, anybody else seeking your support to bring the Senate forward a week to May the 3rd for an early budget? Well, look, the government's juggling chainsaws at the moment. They've got four in the air, and one false move and someone's going to get hurt. They've got the ABCC, Senate voting changes, an early election, the budget. I can't see the government having the numbers to bring the Senate back early, which is not going to leave them much time for debate on anything at all. OK, and just finally and quickly, if there is a double dissolution election as early as July, will you run again? Yes, of course. OK, Senator Bob Day at Parliament House in Canberra, thank you very much for your time. Pleasure.